Hey, folks, it's Dave and Ron back here on a Sunday night. And unfortunately, Ron, a couple weeks ago, we come on a Sunday night and we had a lot of fun things to talk about.
Yes,
We
we
talked
did.
about Zamboni drivers and emergency goalies, and we made fun of the Houston Astros. And unfortunately, tonight, it's the circumstances are not as happy, but we invite everybody just to how you doing? That's what this is called. How's
Yeah,
everybody doing?
exactly.
We got a lot of notifications tonight here in Massachusetts. They're saying no gatherings of 25 or more, so that's going to affect restaurants and all kinds of things now. And so they keep squeezing the door tighter.
That's the smallest I've seen. Here it's 250. They closed the schools down as of Wednesday coming up through April 6th, but most places that I've seen in the last few hours have said in-service days.
So they said all mass restaurants closed till mid-April. Dave Skura says, yeah, so I'm thinking if we can't have gatherings of 25 or more till April 17th, that probably means no hockey for a month. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't got the official word yet. So if you're watching from in the league, once I do get that word, I'll let you know. But it sounds that way. Dave Little's in the chat room on YouTube. Hi, Dave Little. We're just kind of getting on tonight. We just want to get on and talk to people, see how everybody's doing. It's very odd times. I just got done walking the dog. That's all I do now. I walk the dog twice a day. That's the highlight of my day right now because there's really nothing else to do. And I stopped and saw some neighbors, and that, of course, everyone's concerned.
Don't cough on them.
Don't cough on them. Yeah, no, I cough away. The thing is, I cough all the time. When I'm walking, when I'm playing hockey. Ask the guys when I play hockey. I cough the entire time when I play hockey, and I don't know what it is. So feel free to leave us a note here in the chat. How you doing? How you handling all this stuff? What are your plans with this? It's just, I did hear that they're keeping pharmacies and grocery stores open. So, I mean, they're not going to completely shut everybody in the house. But, yeah, the restaurant situation, geez, I kind of hope that, places of pizza shops will at least give you pizza, and McDonald's and Burger King might be open. I'm kind of hoping that's the case. But
I think that if places can deliver, that they would keep them open. Maybe have some sort of limited staff or limited menu, or places with drive-throughs, as you said, McDonald's, Burger King, and such. But well, they're staying open here for now. Our thing is 250, but our case number went from 5 to 8, but 3 people of those are out of state. And so
the numbers are going to go up. There's no doubt the numbers are going to go up. But when you really look at it, though, I mean, what they say it is? What, 3 or 4 million, 5 million people in Massachusetts, and there's 150 people with it. It's still a minute percentage of people, So, but Dave says he went to the Cheesecake in the North Shore Mall, and it was a ghost town. Yeah, I mean, Apple stores are closing down now.
There's no supplies.
Yeah, everything.
We're out of iPhones to sell.
It sounds like everything wants to shut down for 2 weeks. They're basically telling people, go in your house for 2 weeks and let's let this thing settle the best we can, And so my wife's upstairs texted me. She's just watched the governor's speech, and it's like, he's making some good points about why we need to do this, and it's just crazy. We just can hope that it does, come down, if we isolate, and then it does what they think it does, who else is in the chat room? Mike Bozio, goaltender. His save percentage won't go down, but it won't go up either, Mike. It won't go up.
What is it
either.
right now?
Let me see. I was gonna put his phone number on here, but you might get that confused with his
Don't
against.
do that.
Oh no!
I mean, Kenny Castro's here. The last time that Kenny was in a chat, we got talking about the Blue Pill Diaries, and all that. Think of it this way, you might be able to get some perks online from certain websites.
Oh, maybe. You never know. So, but yeah, it's just things are just kind of nuts right now. So we want to chat with everybody. Hey, Henry's in here. Yeah, no gatherings of 25 or more. Oh, 4/7. Oh, so that ain't bad, is it? It's not 4/17. So okay, so I thought it was 4/17. So 4/7, April 7th. So that's 3 weeks. Ain't too bad. But yeah, Hockey Town's probably going to shut down for those 3 weeks. Ken Castro's in there, Tabletop Sports Delaware. I got to wait for Al to come in because I have a couple things I need to tell Al when he comes in. I was watching his hockey game last night, so hopefully Al will see us and come in. But yeah, and as I talked before, I figured I was going to shut down for a week or two, but I was kind of hoping it was on my terms.
I'm not sure how you'd keep that rink clean enough between games.
I don't know.
I mean, I fully understand. My mother's now coming Tuesday to bring some food, and we probably won't see her for about a month.
Yeah, they're saying now no more visitors to nursing homes, even hospitals, or unless it's end of care. So yeah, it's just kind of nuts out there. Dave says they're saying that 70% of the world's going to get it, but they just don't overrun the hospitals. Yeah, I heard it. Well, you got to figure how many people get the cold, and how many people get the flu, and how many people get pneumonia, and how many people get bronchitis. Lots of people get that. It's just we don't overrun the hospitals all at once. That's the thing. So that's kind of what's. We just don't want to overflow the hospital. Like even, my wife, she's having some lung issues, not corona, of just typical stuff that she's had for a long time now. And it's tough to get the care for that because everything is fixated on this virus right here. And she's in there for something completely different. And it's
exactly.
Difficult.
And so many ICU beds are filled with people recovering from heart attacks and other chronic things that, yeah.
And so she's in there, and then they're saying you have none of the symptoms, so they're not treating her like she has it, which is, okay, good. But she's like, well, how do I go get this care? I'm supposed to have a heart procedure coming up in a couple of months. I don't know if I should postpone that. I don't think I can really. They want to do it right away.
I wouldn't.
But should I bother getting involved in the healthcare industry now? And you know what I mean? Is that going to create problems? So. And Mike says, yeah, the governor's on TV saying stay 6 feet away from people. He's got 10 people surrounding him.
Hopefully he's not shaking hands. It's almost an impossible situation to do that. You putting your socks on now, or are you coughing?
No, not yet. I'm just grabbing a drink.
Good. I was on that warning for that. It's almost an impossible situation. I mean, obviously, you and your spouse, you're not going to be maybe you want to be 6 feet away from each other for the next month. I don't. But things like I was telling this, I don't know. I've had so many conversations since Thursday that I really don't know which end is up anymore. The delivery services are now saying that they'll deliver food outside your door.
Which is fine. Which is fine. As long as you can get deliveries, that's the big thing.
We'll see how long that's allowed in states where the restaurants are shut down. Who knows?
I hope that the restaurants can deliver food at least, or you can get to go. It's still unclear. Are they saying that the restaurant's got to close, or is it just the dining rooms? Because I know as long as you can keep serving food, that'll keep people's mind at ease. But once you shut down food sources, now it gets absolutely nuts.
And again, it's trying to keep people under a state of, I don't want to say normal, because none of this is normal, but maybe a state of comfort and prevent more run from the grocery stores.
Yeah, as long as you know that okay, you're stuck in your house, but if you can at least you're not going to starve to death or anything like that.
Can we go to the back door of our Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee? That would be nice, doesn't it? I don't have to have a donut, but for people like my wife who kind of like that comfort thing, can she at some point in the next 2 weeks go to the Dunkin'? And ours is a walk. You've been in that one, Dave. It's the walk-in. You don't really want to sit there anyway. And just get something to make you comfortable for at least that last little while.
Yeah. No, I went out tonight and went up to the ice cream place and got a hot fudge sundae. And it was like, people are up there standing in line, just getting their stuff. Everything seemed completely normal. And I think that's what people were looking for, some sense of normalcy. Nobody was, acting weird or anything like that. People just getting their ice cream. And they were, going out, and just some people sat outside and ate it. Some people took it in their car and ate it.
21 degrees. No one's getting ice cream up here.
Yeah, they were. And so, Dave Little says, am I quarantined from body painting? No, that's the great thing about the internet, Dave Little, is that I could do body painting right here. I could do it right now with Ron, actually. I could paint myself.
Gosh, it's been a pleasure to be with you. Join me tomorrow at noon for.
actually, since I am quarantined now, so we're all kind of quarantined. There's nothing else to do. I think maybe I'll do more body painting, And Dave,
it'll be the Orioles and the Yankees at noon tomorrow. It was a pleasure to be with you, Dave.
Yeah, that's right.
Why don't you bring your wife down? You can help body paint with her.
Yeah, and Dave is also saying that Dave Scurr is saying that it's a spread factor. It's like you tell two friends and tell two friends and so on, and that's how it goes.
It's the 8th grade telephone game.
Yeah, But at the same time, that goes for colds and flus, though. It's just this is just new. That's the problem.
But the other thing is that we all have antibodies for colds. Okay, so if a cold goes around and the kid brings it to you, aloha, Sharon. We have a good chance of fighting that off. If the flu goes around, that would suck, but then you're immune from it for a while. This, we really don't. And as you said the other night, I'll let you answer Nate's question.
No, Nate, it's the governor just said that no gatherings of 25 or more until April 7th. So I think that's 3 weeks. So I would say that, we're not going to see any kind of sports at all right now, unfortunately, probably for at least 3 weeks. I mean, if that's what he's saying, technically we have a gathering of 20, so I would say no. I was kind of hoping they'd say, yeah, we're going to shut down for a week or two, but it sounds like it's going to be at least 3.
Major League Baseball is planning to start the season Memorial Day. First of all, they still had 2 weeks of spring training left.
Right.
So add a week to that. That doesn't mean that nothing's going to start till Memorial Day, but that's what they're planning for, to start the season 2 months late.
Yeah, so it sounds like things are going to be backed up 6 to 8 weeks. I'm kind of hoping the little stuff,
if I eat fried cheese a lot, I'll be backed up 6 to 8 weeks too.
I'm kind of hoping leagues like mine and some of the other leagues will, take a couple weeks and then get back into ease back into normal life, and maybe then the bigger crowds can start coming in, in May. That's what I'm hoping.
For those of us who aren't familiar with how your league works, how many players on a team?
8 skaters and a goalie, so it'd be 9 on 9. And a couple of referees. So we'd have 20 people on the court.
So that'd be kind of hard to do. I mean, you could do that maybe 1 game per session. Maybe have a limited scrimmage.
Well, like I say, you never have all the next game shows up, but they're not on the court with us. And yeah, we pass each other on the way out.
You pass each other, and that's what, and you're all sweaty and. Just read the hockey romance novels. Robbie, no, they'd have to do, yes, the rest of spring training has been axed, but when they do decide that it is safe to travel and play, teams weren't ready to begin with. They're going to have to do some sort, whether it's in the stadiums themselves or they go to Florida, Arizona, or what. They will not be able to go, okay, we're back on this day without any practice. They weren't ready. The pitchers aren't going to be ready.
Yeah, they'll have to ramp it up like everything else.
Right.
So, but
we could talk about the good sports news, which is the NFL labor deal.
Yeah. So what happened with that? Tell us about that.
Well, that kind of broke when I was doing my football stream earlier today. It's a 10-year deal. The younger players liked it. The veterans did not. So the vote was very close. It means essentially a 17th regular season game, and they will cut the preseason down from 4 weeks to 3. The 17th game will be, I think, at a neutral site. We don't know who that 17th opponent will be. The playoffs will increase to 2 with 2 more teams, so only the top team in each conference gets the bye. And as you said earlier, it's becoming more and more like hockey, where the 7th place team now in each conference.
So we'll have a 500 team getting into the playoffs as a wild card.
Right.
Football. Football's changed in the last few years. This whole player safety thing, and they're trying to get rid of the kickoffs, and not that I want to see anybody get hurt. Obviously, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but they're changing the core features of the game. Okay, they're taking away the kickoffs, and they're eliminating a few other things, and the quarterbacks, they're trying to protect the quarterback, but they get him in the grasp, and they still let him run around. It's like,
that's the competition committee. That's not what the CBA is supposed to address.
But what I'm saying, as far as watching football, I used to love it, and now I like it. Okay, and that's a big difference between loving and liking. I used to Sundays, boom, in front of that TV, red zone on all day, enjoying it. Now it's, maybe I'll walk the dog, maybe I'll go buzz around, with a buddy of mine, maybe the wife will do something, and if I catch football later,
Ron and bitch at him about how bad the Patriots played. Did I say that out loud?
But yeah, it's just now the game's changed. It is a lot of flags, and it's just no matter what happens, it's it's not the game it was even 5-6 years ago.
No,
And a
no,
lot of
it's
people
not.
said that. And I'd like to say in some ways it's good, in some ways it's bad, but no, for me, it's mostly just bad. So I think it's, for me, in my eyes, it's kind of fading, so, and but that's just me. But yeah, so they got 17 games now. They're going to have, and that starts this year.
No, there's one. It'll be at 2021, maybe. The playoffs, the new playoffs start this season. They'll start with a new one-team conference bye this year, but the extended season could start as early as 2021. But I don't think they know what they want to do with it yet. Whether that would be like a London game for some teams or neutral sites, or who are they going to play? Is it going to be a guaranteed interconference game? Would it be the Patriots and the Giants every year, or just as an example? Or, I mean, obviously you're not going to play another divisional matchup. So I think it depends on how they want to set that up, and they've given themselves pretty much a full year to figure that out.
Well, there was a talk about that when they added the 17th game. When I was listening, I think it might have been satellite radio, and they were talking about that, and they said, they add a 17th game, and who are you going to play? I mean, it's and is it a home game or a road game? Because that's not fair. So if you got two teams fighting for the top spot, let's just say you got Cowboys and Giants, and they're fighting for the top spot in that division, and you got the 17th game, and the Cowboys have a home game and the Giants have a road game, that could decide who wins the division or who makes the playoffs. So that odd game is kind of weird. And the only thing you could do is if you somehow they could alternate every year. So, okay, this year you get the home game, next year you get the away game, and that's kind of how the NHL used to work. Is you would play at one point you would play teams 3 times. You play them twice in your building and once in theirs, or you play them once in total. And you would either go on the road or you'd be at home. They would alternate every year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I agree. But to go with no buys, Robbie, then you'd have 8 games in one weekend, and I think that would be too much. We did that back in 1982, and I that's just too much. I mean, I have a hard time seeing through 4 wild card games, let alone 6.
Yeah. So
just because it doesn't increase the chance of my Giants making the playoffs either.
A couple other people jumped in the chat. Want to say hi. Jimmy O'Toole jumped in. He used to play hockey with us. David Moyes in here. He says it's kind of bad in the UK. I'm here in Europe is pretty bad right now, and that sucks. I'm sorry for you, man. Let's see. Lisa jumped in the chat room. Hi, Lisa. Hope you're doing okay there. Hope the puppies are okay. Glenn's on YouTube watching us. He says, I really like the way the XFL had their kickoffs. That was different. That was different. The XFL kickoffs, that was kind of neat. I think it needs a little tweaking, but the XFL kickoffs weren't too bad.
Yeah, no, from what little I saw, there were some interesting things there. Kind of sad they couldn't make it through their first year, but they've got TV commitments for the next 2 seasons, so they'll have a chance to redo it. And yeah, the problem is there's only just so much talent to go around.
Yeah. So a question for everybody here. What are you all going to be doing if we can't leave the house? I mean, I've been watching some shows on Amazon that I've been meaning to watch. There was a book I wanted to read. Maybe I'll read that book. So what are some of the things that you guys are doing? How are you going to pass the time? So Ron, what are the things you're going to be doing if you can't really go out?
Well, it's kind of like my winter. There's 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time where sidewalks aren't clear enough for me to go out. So I go out in the hall and get a change of scenery. And we'll be streaming stuff pretty much every day, twice a day, starting tomorrow. So that'll keep me occupied for some time. And yeah, it's terrible because the weather is getting better, but it pretty much, to me, I'm just going to treat it like it's January again. And it sucks because there's nothing to watch really on television. And
that is the nutty thing of all that's going on, is to not have any sports to watch at all. I mean, not even a tennis match or a golf match. That is the weird thing. It's not only a ghost town when you go out, but it's a ghost town on the TV. And all they're talking about is just this virus thing here, and it's very depressing. It's like every day it's
So
like
you really
more
don't want
bad
to
news.
watch a heck of a lot.
No,
Because it's
you know,
the
and
same thing over and over and over again.
and the crazy thing is, you know, you get on social media and people share stuff with you, and depending on what it is, sometimes you read something and it's like, oh, there's hope. I got some good news here. This is good news. You know, things are turning around. And then you read somebody else's post. It's like, oh, no, it's getting really bad, and we're never going to leave our house ever again. And, you know, the sun's not going to come up. And it's just so it's depending on what stuff you read, you can get a little excited or you can get a little depressed. And that's I've been juggling all weekend like that.
Yeah, and it's a tough balance because you want to make sure that people are okay because this is mentally tough. We talked about this the other night. It's not like the snowstorm where I might be affected and you're fine. Everybody we know is going through this to a degree. And so we're all going through the same anxieties and the same worries. And my mother and I are reasonably close. She's been told that she's at high risk for if it goes around. And so you worry about, if you're close with your parents, you're worried about them. If you're if you have relatives in other parts that you like, you're worried about them. My wife works in healthcare. I live in an elderly building. I don't have any hair left. Oh, wait, I didn't have any hair left before that started too. But, you know, so you just try to do what you can to make the best of a situation that is unprecedented and awful. It's like being in the middle of a car accident. And you know how times, you know, you've seen movies where things just kind of slow down when the traumatic event happened. Well, this is just kind of a drip, drip, drip.
And you just wake up in the morning and you're like, is this really going on? Is stuff really shutting down, you know? And reading here, G-Puck says he's going to play more dice games and watch some of our channels more. G-Puck, thank you. Yeah, we've been all trying to stream a little bit more and things like that. And even talk shows like this, I was talking to Ron, and we agreed that, you know, having stuff like this, giving people a voice to come on and chat with us and get things off your chest and seeing how everybody's doing.
Kenny, I did not send you any links. Don't go there. Don't go there. My wife might actually watch this at some point. Don't go there. You can find the links yourself. It's
let's see. Lisa says she's watching Netflix and binge watching Netflix and cleaning the house and doing puzzles. You know, I've been playing my jigsaw puzzle game on the computer, and every time I finish one, I post it on my Facebook page, and that's been my relaxing thing at night. So I've been doing puzzles too. I started binge watching Amazon. I started watching that show Hunters, which is not
that's a happy, optimistic show, Gardner.
No, it's not. It's not the show you want to watch.
Jews hunting Nazis in 1970s America. Is that what you said that was? There you go.
Yeah, during a world crisis, that's not what you want to be watching.
You missed the tease today during the football game. I thought that was bad enough. I was sitting in the hall this morning going, okay, how am I going to do this after that? So it was a lobster fest for Murder, She Wrote, but 60 Minutes was Andy Rooney's colonoscopy.
Okay.
And so just, you know, trying to think of other things. By the way, I just got called the Pineapple Prince.
Oh, you're the Pineapple Prince. Oh, yeah, big clue. It's Dave and the Pineapple Prince. Yeah, we got 2 pizzas tonight, but we did not get pineapple. That's what I should have got. I can't believe it. She's like, what kind of pizza do you want? I was like, I don't know, get a cheese and a cheesesteak pizza. I didn't even think to get the pineapple. So next time we get pizza.
You know what? I got pizza tonight, too.
Did you get pineapple?
How
pineapple and ham, the Hawaiian pizza. The Hawaiian pizza is the best. Maybe they didn't have it. Maybe it wasn't on the menu, because if I saw that, I would have got the Hawaiian. That is unbelievable.
Sarah's and my go-to pizza is usually hamburger and onion.
Yeah, okay. Anything like that.
Yeah.
There's a steak bomb pizza up here up the corner that's not too bad that I like. So we got a couple of pizzas. I got a couple of sandwiches. That way we have food for a few days. Hopefully the pizza shops can stay open, because I mean, they're restaurants, but they're not sit down places. So
it depends on the drivers, though. You know, it depends on
So I mean, we're still gonna be learning more. I mean, could we go 3 weeks without a restaurant being open? I guess. You know,
we're so used to it. You know, you live in a decent sized city. I live in the largest city in Vermont. I mean, that's just how you live where we live.
So yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. So I know
the
maybe
house smells like pizza, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good. Good. My fridge tastes like pizza.
You should be
Let's
licking your fridge.
I know, right? So, what other things are you guys
We
doing?
haven't even been officially closed in yet, and you're licking your fridge already.
I know. It smells so good. It smells like pizza. So, what other things are you guys doing? Ken Castro, he's doing a baseball replay with the 29 Phillies and playing some hockey games. I'm trying to do the 72 Summit Series, as I talked about. I just didn't pull stuff out today. I'm hoping I will pull things out tomorrow, and now that I got the dining room table cleaned off, so now I can play some of my games on there if I have to. I'll probably stream more games. I've been if you've seen, some of the people here might have seen me on Facebook streaming some of the hockey games. It's just fun. It takes my mind off of things. It gives people something to watch. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's fun broadcasting the sports like you do too. So I'll be doing more of that if I'm sitting home. So feel free to jump in and just say hi. It just gives us something to do and ways to communicate. Let me see. So let me see.
In Ohio, drive-throughs and carry-outs are still on, that's a good sign for us. California's cutting their capacity in half. And so one of the restaurants locally have started to take out tables so that you could go,
but you couldn't sit.
Yeah. But you would be with your own party, but you'd be 6 feet away from the strangers.
Yeah. Because I saw a tweet from Matt out in Ohio who does the Bad Fodder Figures podcast, and we're friends on Facebook and on Twitter, and he's in Ohio, and he said that they're shutting down bars and restaurants. But somebody here says, Larry says that restaurants and bars are closed here in Ohio. Okay, he's in Ohio too. Okay, Larry, okay, you're in Ohio too.
Yep.
But drive-through and carry-out is still on, so that's good to know. So I mean, as long as you can get food, people won't
kill the local places, though. I mean, it's fine that McDonald's and Burger King can still do their things,
but I mean, the big restaurants or the sit-down, but I mean, if you can still do takeout, at least you can still produce something. And it's like myself, I'm done. I'm done for 3 weeks at least, and that's it. I mean, it's just I don't even know if I can collect unemployment.
Hopefully, either at a state level or at a federal level, there can be a check cut for people like you and those who are technically. You're not the only one of my friends, Dave, that is out of work. Broadcaster, I think we talked about this the other day, that does the Norwich games up here. Lost his last 3, and that's his income. So there needs to be something in place. So you can at least get reimbursed. Thankfully, one of the local power companies here in Vermont has decided to suspend collections for 60 days.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go
get your light shut off.
I'm supposed to go get my license renewed.
Good luck.
Yeah, as if they're shut down, what do I do? This is just like the timing of it all. I'm thinking about going down to AAA tomorrow and just getting my regular license. I'm not going to get a real ID. I'm not going to dig out all that crap just because I don't plan on flying the next 6 weeks. So just give me my license so I can drive my car, and then I'll figure out the other stuff later if I ever really want to fly again.
So Dave does some broadcasting.
Dave Moy?
No, Big Clue is asking you, or if you're a broadcaster.
Yes. I have a thank you, Big Clue. Yes, I do some. I haven't done some in probably 6 or 7 months. Since last fall, I did a couple there, but I do some junior games. I do some of my local games for fun with them. But yeah, I used to do a lot of work, and then they cut the pay because I think they were looking for like high school kids. And I'm like, I'm not driving an hour and a half, doing a 3-hour game, and then driving an hour and a half home for like $40. It's like, no, so once they cut the price, I stopped doing it. But yeah, I used to do it. I used to travel around the country and do it. I used to have a good time doing that.
Okay, that's a good thing, Kenny Castro. Rhode Island may compensate independent contractors, which would be great. Freelancers and such, which is what Kenny and you are.
I'm not really. I'm a company. I really am.
Are you?
Yeah. So and I get the W-2, so I'm an employee of my own company, so I don't know how that would work. I don't even know if I could collect unemployment. They might look at me and say, yeah, sorry. So, I mean, I pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars a year, and all this unemployment insurance that I'll never get to collect, but that's how they do this.
Chloe has to watch baseball first. I mean, apparently don't listen to enough of the shows where my stuff gets called the Retro Baseball Network. And his favorite day of the season last year was Game 7 of the World Series because it was the last day of baseball.
I've done baseball. I've done baseball a couple of times. Baseball is very difficult for me because it's so slow. I do hockey. I think I do a pretty good job at hockey.
You do a good job at hockey
because it's so fast, and I'm used to the speed of it. I've done football a lot too. I did a lot of high school football games last year. Actually, the last few years I've done high school football games, and that's been a lot of fun. Although a high school football game is very, very different than NFL. It's
yes.
Run up the middle for 2 yards, run up the middle for 2 yards, pass incomplete, punt, or go for it on 4th down. They don't usually punt unless they're in their own zone. So high school football is very different than some of the higher stuff. But I've enjoyed it. I've done that. So I like the faster sports. So baseball, I tried baseball one time, and it did okay, but I don't know enough about it to really call the game. I mean, I did a generic job for the guy, but so that's why I do my hockey.
One of those things, you got to be able to tell stories, and there's
a lot of downtime.
One of the things, though, with all the sports, I mean, I remember when I worked for Bleacher Report, I would live blog golf, and you think that's a sport that can be very plodding. Well, let me tell you, once it gets going, and once your featured group is on the course, you get finished writing your paragraph, and you look up, and they're ready for the next shot. And so, no, none of those sports, I mean, when you're covering them, are slow. But baseball is much more of I don't want to say plodding, but it's a radio sport.
Yeah, for me, baseball is tough because it's like ball, kink, ground ball, base hit up the middle. It's just not exciting.
It's a storyteller sport. And as Larry Harris says, yeah, I mean, you can tell stories.
But that's what it is. You do a lot of talking in baseball, and it's kind of like what we're doing here. We could talk about this and say, oh, by the way, Ron, that was a single to left field.
That's right. And so.
Let's see. Mike says, not really sure if all this shutting down will work. Seems like overkill for a flu-based virus. Scary to think what's to come for more severe outbreak of any kind. Well, Mike, I think the problem is what they said with this virus here is this: we're not used to it. This is new, and it's affecting people a lot more. That's not the right word. Harder. It's more devastating, I guess, to people than it is the flu.
I'd much rather a year from now saying this was all silly than we lost 1 million
because again, you look at it and you see the numbers going up and the hospital's overrun with people and the whole bit, but then you see the actual numbers and they're like, I think there's less than 200 people in Massachusetts that supposedly have it that they know of. Okay,
that they know of, right?
And how many million? What's it? 3-4 million people here in Massachusetts, and 200 have it. It's just that is such a 0.000 whatever number percentage of people that have it is so low. But the thing is, it is so devastating that I think that's why people are panicking. So I think what they're trying to do right now, Mike, is not overload the hospitals. I think what they're trying to,
according to Johns Hopkins, 138 cases. One person has recovered. Congratulations. And 137 still active.
Well, they're saying obviously more people than not recover. I mean, if you have a immune deficiency or you got a respiratory problem, if you're an old person, then yeah. But the problem is if you're between 15 and 50, you should be all set. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm just on the other side of 50.
Sucks to. Oh wait, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm not any better off than you are.
So I'm on the other side of that. I'm like, I'm not real. It's kind of like video games now. They make these video games, and I don't even buy them anymore. I'm like, I can't relate to this. And they said, well, yeah, that's because you're not in the target demographic anymore. You're too old. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I pulled out this book that I picked up at when I used to go out hunting the dollar stores and the Salvation Army stores and all that stuff. They're looking for the old games, and I found a really cool book. I think it was called Icebound or something like that. I love fiction books about the Antarctic and ice. That's like one of my favorite topics, and I don't know why, but any story I can read about a team going to Antarctica and then whatever happens in Antarctica, I always like that. I like that feeling of that people being isolated. They're not running through streets. They don't have cars and cell phones. I've always liked that Arctic theme. in a story. So I pulled out this book the other day that I got at one of those. It was like $1, and I got it at one of those stores a couple years ago. And it's like, I should read this book if I have the time. Too bad I don't have the time. And now I have.
You got
time.
all the time.
Now I got a month to read that book. So, but that's the thing now. It's like I have all this time. It's like, okay, what can I do? Should I, clean the house? Should I play some games? Should I, go through the closet? And then I actually went through and I've been selling a couple things on Facebook. I pulled out a bunch of stuff. It's like, well, I'm gonna put it on Facebook to sell, even for a couple of bucks before I just get rid of it, And I had a couple things sold, and then the world went crazy, and I did sell some of the games today, so that was good. But I had a couple other things that people had inquired about, and then now they're probably too busy buying toilet paper. So
I saw lots of pictures today on Facebook of people wrapping up toilet paper for Christmas presents next year.
Oh yeah, there's been some funny things like that. There really has been. So I hope to, like I say, read that book there. That'd be fun just to chill out and read that book, and hopefully the wife gets better over here. She's got some old people's things going on she's dealing with, and as we all are. But it's just tough now. You can't really call the doctor or go anywhere because everything's flooded, and that's the problem,
Yeah, they're telling people that you can set up telehealth appointments to meet with your doctor, that they would just do it over a video camera.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I might have to email in myself this week and just see what's going on. So, whatever. How else is everybody doing here? We've had people jumping in and jumping out the entire time.
We did the digital dice, by the way, which we did. Now has projects. We talked about projects that you can do to keep the time away. To pass the time. That's what we did yesterday. So,
yeah, and we talked about some of the things we were thinking about doing and what you're going to do. Let me see. Bill's here. Uncle Bill's
don't do the chicken, toilet paper, and pasta all in the same dish.
Yeah, chicken, TP, and pasta all gone. All else plenty. Well, that's good to know. I mean, because obviously the TP is going to be the thing for a while. But at least if you can say, hey, look, I like to have my ginger ale. It's the only tonic I have. I quit soda 3 years ago now, 3.5 years ago, but I still have ginger ale because of my stomach issues. So I still like to have my ginger ale. And it's like, geez, if I go to the store, they're going to be out all the shelves empty, or is it just like key features? So I'm thinking it's just the key features. So, and I'm kind of hoping too, like we had this big bums rush the last few days. So I'm really kind of hoping that everybody went and got their hoarding out of the way.
I hope so.
And I'm hoping the hoarding starts to scale down to a point where they can get stuff on the shelves and you can go in there and I want to see.
There are no national shortages of supplies right now.
Right.
Everything is there. They're trying to figure out where to send stuff to the places that are hardest hit, which certainly is not Vermont. But there are no shortages of fresh food. Period.
Well, now I'm thinking now because my uncle said he was at the China Jade the other night having a Bud Light, and I'm like, well, if they shut down, I can't even go to get my Scorpion Bowls anymore. So
there's
now what?
There's this thing called the internet.
I can't have Scorpion Bowls on the internet.
Well, it would tell you how to make one. Apparently, the liquor stores are well stocked from everything.
Now that I think of it, I do have an uncle's house that I go to at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and he makes some pretty good drinks. So I might have to give him a call and just check on him, see how he's doing. You know what I mean, Ron? Just how you doing?
How you doing, Uncle? I don't remember your name. Can I have this bottle of triple stack, please?
Do you need anything? Can I bring over some Altoid cinnamon mints for you or anything like that? And while I'm there, if you happen to make me a drink, that's perfectly fine.
Uncle, I don't remember your name. You were my favorite uncle. Oh, the booze gone? I'm sorry, I'm going over to Auntie Gertie's.
He was the uncle that I remember I told you I was showing him how to play strat hockey that one time.
No, I know that. I know you remember his name.
Yep. And then at his house, we started to play that Fuse game. I brought over that board game at Thanksgiving.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Thanksgiving or Christmas. Yeah. I forget if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, but we played that Fuse game, and that was a big hit too. So we're trying to set up more board games night, but it's going to have to be 25 people or less. So
you can do the Fuse game, but you have to be 6 feet apart. So the body painting Twister special that you were planning will not be seen.
Yeah, we won't be doing any Twister for a couple of weeks.
Larry said he just got home from the store an hour ago, and the only thing that they did not have was bread and buns. It's because
good,
and
Larry.
so this was yes, they had toilet paper, and the CVS I had, we had toilet paper, so we actually picked some up. So trying to get things a little bit at a time. So if we are stuck here for the proverbial month, that we're not in a panic and trying to get things.
Yeah. So I have some very, very tight underwear I use when I play Twister. So
the views expressed on this podcast are not necessarily expressed by both members of the panel. We'll only show this feature only at night.
I can almost reach both red circles. Almost. So there.
Oh,
it's a good time. Thanksgiving is a good time after some drinks. Let me tell you. Oh,
so,
boy.
Boys and girls, don't play Pull My Finger with Uncle Dave.
So they were saying, I've been getting notifications on Twitter that, and even Facebook that Xbox Live was having issues. They're probably getting overloaded with people right now.
And now with all the with what little schools that were open last week, closing this week, I can't imagine those video game networks are going to be.
Yeah. Even Steam was saying that they've had more players on recently than they have in years. So yeah, so it's people are sitting home playing video games. They're binging Netflix, binging Amazon, things like that, because there's no sports to watch, and you can only talk to the significant other for so long before you need
talk to yours.
We text each other. Are you done in there? Almost.
Mine will send, are you still alive? Yes. Oh, okay.
What if you ever responded no? That would be so creepy. That would be a crazy one.
Someone just said Fortnite crashed when he just played.
Oh, man.
What will those middle schoolers do?
What are you doing? What are you doing playing with middle schoolers, by the way? Yeah. And Bill says he's working from home tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I've been working from home, but I mean, now there's nothing to do. I don't have any stats to do or anything because it sounds like 3 weeks that we're not going to be able to gather and play hockey. So I'm going to out of business for 3 weeks. And ID says the Path of Exile service crashed last night. Yeah, it is absolutely nuts. And Steam was slow.
Are you making this up? 278,345, or is that an exaggeration?
Wow, that's almost 300,000 people to log in and play Path of Exile.
Right.
Path of Exile.
So there are ways to keep occupied. However, I did joke that, I can't wait for all my high school buddies to show me grandbaby pics next year.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a busy time for some people.
The other thing is, and I do want to be serious now that not that you and Sharon aren't going anywhere, and my wife and I do get along. I'm worried one of the side effects if you're trapped at home is what's the divorce rate going to do? I mean, you've married these people for a reason. You got to do your best to try just to get along.
Yeah, there was a funny joke that I posted on Facebook that said, with no sports to play or watch. I sat and talked to my wife for a few minutes, and it turned out she had 20 years in the medical field and she likes eggplant. It was kind of funny because
that was there. Yeah,
it is.
Two of us made the pina colada joke, and
I have no idea what that is.
It's the old Rupert Holmes song. He does the song about going on the personal ad, and it turns out that it's wife that walks in the bar. Oh, it's you. I never knew. I like pina coladas.
I know the pina colada song, but
That's it. That's the song.
Oh, everyone was posting that, and it just
well, maybe
it went right over my head over to Beverly Airport and landed, and I still didn't get it.
Okay, so ID just emailed me the screenshot. I can verify this. There are 266,236 people ahead of you in the queue.
So why can't you just play the game? Why do you have to sit in a queue to play a game? I can never figure that out. Sega Genesis games, you do not have to sit in a queue. In fact, that's what I was thinking about doing. I keep talking about that. Hooking up my Sega Genesis and streaming some NHL 94 on here like an all-day tournament or something. So you might see me playing NHL 94 over here, and there will be no login. Unless my internet crashes, but there'll be no login to play the game. I can at least play the game.
Yeah. And so thanks, ID. That's amazing.
That's a lot of people for I don't want to say for a game like that because but I mean you think Call of Duty and Counter-Strike and Fortnite and all these other ones here, you wouldn't think that many people would be playing at the same time. The Path of Exile.
Oh, you would. I mean, you can't go
but
out
right now. There are, yeah. Well, right now there are, but I would like to know what it is on a normal night. Is what I'm getting at.
You know how many on a normal night, ID?
So like 3 weeks ago, when you logged in, how many people are ahead of you in the queue? I guess that would be the telltale sign. I just hope there's not that many people in line for the Scorpion Bowls at my uncle's house because.
Well, it depends on how nice you are to your uncle.
I could almost walk there. Actually, it'd be a long walk.
If you let him win once in a while, you might get a little.
Come in,
Davey. How are you?
I know.
But if you keep, bad mouthing him, Adam Karras says there were 20 million people on the queue on Steam this afternoon.
Wow. Yeah, everyone's home. That's what they wanted. They want to keep everybody home. Everybody's home. So we better see some numbers going down.
And ID's buddy said he had to log in today with over 4 million in the queue.
Oh, jeepers creepers.
So 20 million people on Steam at noon today.
Apachata says Sega Genesis where he first played Madden football. Yep. And I think I have most of the old Madden somewhere. Some are behind me over here.
Yes.
And then over here is my hockey game. So I have the hockey games on display in my office down here. But I have some of the Madden games too. Boy, they were brutal. I popped them in and played them. They are real difficult. They're terrible graphics in the whole bit. They're simple to play, but boy, they're tough. They're tough.
And so Kenny Castro says the honeydew list is growing by the minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's going to get longer, my friend.
You want to hear a funny Madden story?
Sure.
All right. So while we're talking about what we're doing with Stuck Inside, I got a funny Madden story. So it's on the Sega Genesis. And I don't know if it was Madden 92, 93, 94. I don't really remember. But I was playing as, obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? And I like the orange jersey. So I'm playing as Tampa Bay, and I'm playing, and I don't know if I did a season or just the playoffs. I don't remember. But anyway, I get into the playoffs, and I win a playoff game and another playoff game. And now I get to the Super Bowl. I'm playing Houston Oilers in the Super Bowl.
Houston Oilers.
Yeah, and I have never won the Super Bowl in playing Madden, okay? And I was so excited I was in the Super Bowl as Tampa Bay, okay? Orange jerseys and everything. And I'm winning late in the game. I'm winning the Super Bowl late in the game. Now, in this game, you couldn't take a knee. You had to hand off, right? I'm killing the clock.
Did you get Joe Pisarcik?
I'm killing the clock. About a minute to go. Up by, I don't know if it was 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And a run to the right, just trying to kill the clock. Fumble! Oilers pick it up, and they run in for the touchdown.
You did!
I was like, nope. And I shut off the Sega. I said, nope, not going to do it this way. This is not how it's going to end. And so I turned it back on, and it didn't save, so I got to go back in and replay the game, and then I went back in and I won it this time. But I was like, nope, I'm not going to play that. That is not how it's going to end. That is so stupid. That it would end
how many people would do something like them, and most people don't.
I played this game on the Commodore 64, okay, an adventure game. It was called Ultima 3 Exodus, Lord British, Britannia, and all that stuff there. Okay, it was kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons style game. 1986 was right out of high school. We had a Commodore 64. I got one in high school and I kept it. So I played this game, and I played this game for 3 months, and I got into a battle and I died. And it's permadeath, and you start over from ground zero. So I played 3 months, and I died. So I started playing again, and I ended up playing this game. It actually took me a year to finish. By the time I actually, it wasn't an everyday game thing. It was here and there and whatever. But I played this game for about a year after the permadeath, and I remember there was a couple of times that I would get into a fight, and my health would be really low. And there was another fight. And I used to have to turn off the Commodore 64 before it saved, because otherwise I would have died and I would have lost a year of playing. And there's no way I was going to go play it again. And I wanted to see how the game would end. So every time I got into a battle and it looked like I was losing, I would just shut off the Commodore. It's like, don't save. Don't save. And that's how you did it back then, because of the permadeath. There was no pick up from where you left off. That's what it was. So,
yeah, I hear you.
ID says he uploaded a video of some of his new deep drive charts. That's pretty cool. Ken Castro's got the honeydew list uploaded. That's cool. Apachata's got a book on his Kindle. I just picked up a book on my you know what I do is I order through Barnes and Noble, but I read it on my iPad on the Barnes and Noble app. That's kind of weird instead of the Amazon app. Sometimes I do Amazon too, but I have the Barnes and Noble app, so I read it. I picked up one of my favorite movies is The Ninth Gate. Okay, The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp.
Okay,
for some reason I really like it. I just like it. Okay, and so there's a book that was based on a book, so I bought the book. And so now I have that book. So I should actually read that book now, based on the movie.
Do some of that called the Boston game that you were talking about. That we've talked about a bit on the show.
Called the Boston game.
No, what's the one that's based in Boston? You're doing it on.
The Xbox one.
Yeah.
But Call of Cthulhu.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's Call of Cthulhu. It's a H.P. Lovecraft story, and it's it's about a fictional island in Boston right after World War I. Okay, and I don't know if you can hear those bings. Somebody's been texting me here. Hopefully you don't hear them.
No.
Okay, good. They're just finding out about the season closing up here on hockey. So, let me see. Yeah, he's just posting about the gathering of 25 people. So, so I'm just gonna say season is on pause.
Don't make it pause again.
Season on pause.
Sore from that other day.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to read that book there. If that's what I was talking about, I lost my train of thought here. Let's see. ID just picked up all 3 books in the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. 3 massive books, 1,600 pages. I prefer the shorter books. Yeah, when I see a book of 300, 400, 500 pages, I shy away. I really do like the shorter books because I can get through them easy enough. The last book I read was the Harry Sinden book from 1972.
You enjoyed that too.
I did. Hockey Showdown. It was about the 72 Summit Series. It wasn't really a book. It was just his account of what happened when the Canadians played the Russians. So, now they're saying, yeah, 2 teams, 2 wrestling scorekeepers, less than 25. Yeah, Ryan, I like that. So
well, that was fun the other night when you did the action PC version of the EMRHL.
Yeah, I set up a season with a bunch of the guys in the league and drafted them on different teams and played them so everybody could see their names on the screen and play that. And in fact, we had a few guys here in the chat room that were on that as well. And some people, actually, those two of the goalies that were in the game were watching live. And it's just a simulation that you play. But there's some visuals. You can watch it, and it's fun to play. But yeah, I have all the guys in the game, and that was kind of fun. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat room here, Ron?
I was talking about you got it all, and I just did a quick thing through Facebook, and there was nothing new, which was nice. Nothing new on that trip through Facebook. We'll take it. ERMHL is the Eastern Massachusetts Roller Hockey League, which Dave runs. It's his baby. We did it's on Dave's channel on YouTube. We did the 20th anniversary show, right?
Yep. So we got 20 years of that. We started in 1999 outside. We played 2 years outside. Then we went inside, and we've been at that facility since the year 2000. So yeah, so the EMRHL Eastern Mass Roller Hockey League, and it's a roller hockey league instead of ice hockey. And we get 2 leagues, a Tuesday night league and a Saturday morning league. And so I took all the players that were in the league and I put them in the Action PC and playing almost like a draft league with these guys. And it was just kind of fun. It's almost like if you had people at work or anybody you put them into the game. It just makes it fun.
Tony Whitehill isn't here tonight, but we did that with Wayne Gretzky hockey.
Oh,
back
really?
in 1989, we had the street hockey league that I was the quote-unquote head coach for, and we just put everybody in there. Beat up on the Kings and the Habs and especially the Blackhawks. I forget what your Blackhawk team it was. There was like 6 teams that came with the game.
Oh yeah.
So you could create teams. I had the stats disc, and we created everyone at small letters, and we could all get into fights. It was great, and so it was awesome. Yeah, it does sound cool. So what else? I mean, we're you and Sharon are kind of home for a while, and as long as it doesn't get massive here, at least I can see the people that comes and washes me up in the morning. Okay. I know that Lance Hafner Games, as I got the invite on there, is doing the old Lance Hafner game is doing the 2020 NCAA tournament. They picked all the teams and we'll do that. And I probably will, once we get closer to the Final Four, what it would have been the Final Four, maybe the regionals, do some college basketball at night, just to go through it. I mean, again, we're here to all try to support each other. And there are times that we're all going to stream over each other, but I don't think anyone is going to be doing the same thing. So if Dave is doing hockey and I'm doing baseball, or Dave is doing baseball, he'd just be really desperate, I think, to do that. If one of us is doing one sport, someone else is doing another, no one's going to take offense to that. I mean, again, this is all about making sure that,
yeah, we're all home right now. So that's the thing.
Right
it's
now.
like we're not working around work schedules anymore. So it's one of these things where just, I know that there was 3 of us streaming all at the same time the other night. I don't think I was one of them, but I mean, it was just, and that's how it is. So, I mean, it's no big deal at this point here. It's just when I do it as therapy, because I did the hockey game. I did some Saturday morning, some Saturday night, some Friday night. I wanted to play the local teams for my guys because they didn't play hockey. So I wanted to give them something to enjoy. So I did 2 double headers with those guys. So I got 8 teams involved, and I got to broadcast the games here. And Friday night, I did. I've always wanted to do the Game 7, 1983, Boston Bruins versus Buffalo Sabres, the Brad Park game. If you remember Brad Park scoring that overtime winner from the point. So I replayed that here on the channel last Friday night. Bruins ended up winning that 6-3, so they didn't need overtime in that one. But I just jump on and go, and I know we've talked, and it's just like,
it's therapy at this point.
It's just like, because I know you were saying, hey, I'm going to go on at 7. It's like, geez, I might go on at 6:30 or 7 myself. And it's just, that's okay.
That's absolutely fine.
It's just whenever it tickles your fancy, get on and do it. And just, no one's doing to spite anybody. It's just, because sometimes too, it's like, we're here, we have dinner, we do our thing, whatever it is. And then it's like, okay, she finally goes to bed or whatever, and I get a chance to do it. So then I come downstairs and do it. And then it's like, oh, if somebody else is doing it, it's like, man, I've been waiting all day to do this. So,
but now during this, no, just do what you want to do.
Yeah. At this point here, it's like, let's just do this and get on in there and have some fun. And, at one point we talked about trying to set up some kind of a schedule, but it's so difficult. And, I wouldn't want to set up a schedule and then me say, okay, I'm on at 8:30 and then find out that I can't.
Right.
And then I tied up a tide from a time that somebody else could have used. So I think it's just
being so uncertain too. You want to certainly give precedence for those and who just really need just to release some stress.
Yeah, that's the thing. I sometimes I was streaming just the jigsaw puzzles just to give people a place to come in and chat and have some fun. And what I enjoyed is I did my hockey games the other night and I jumped out, and I think Dave Little had some wrestling or baseball going on. I watched some of that, and then somebody else had something going on, and then Al did a late night hockey game, and that was a fun night. It just just sat here on YouTube all night seeing everybody do things, and sometimes people had a chat. I know ID and Chris had a chat the other night. I caught that from the rink. I was actually at the rink, so my signal was in and out, but I caught a lot of that at the rink. So that was fun that I got to see them have a little talk there while I was at the rink at work. The only problem is I can watch it, but if things go crazy, I have to kill the feed. So, because if I got guys in the penalty box, like, oh, what are you doing? And what are you watching videos for? You're supposed to be scorekeeping the game. So as long as there's no penalties and the things are kind of calm, I can watch YouTube videos. But once things get out of hand, it's like, I got to kill the feed and then focus on what's going on and put up the penalties. And
Captain Carl, how are you?
Oh yes, Carl, good to see you, man. I wonder if Captain Carl 8 is that Yaz?
Yeah, his name isn't Carl, but that's
fine. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that it was Yaz. I actually saw Yaz play. That's how old I am. I saw him play at Fenway Park. I saw him the one time. Who were they playing? I want to say they were playing the Seattle Mariners. He comes up with the bases loaded in the 9th. Tie game. Singles to right. Wins the game. That was pretty cool. Yep. So that's when I went to Fenway.
My lone trip to Fenway was his first time back after retiring. So it was Old Timers Day 89. Oh, okay. So he's got an essential employee, so he's working nights most of the next 2 weeks. Other than that, I've replays going in baseball, football, and golf. Cool. Good for you.
I should fire up the golf again, the Action PC Golf. I enjoyed that.
Parks actually asked if you were going to do that.
Yeah, I should do that. That should be my next thing. Maybe I'll play some golf tomorrow. It's maddening, but it is kind of fun.
So there you go.
You know, we were kids one time at Fenway Park. I went a lot when I was. I don't want to say a lot. I probably went 8 or 9 times, 10 times as a kid, which that's kind of a lot. And we had tickets on the first base side, probably 10 feet past first base. I wouldn't sit there now. No way. Those balls come ripping down there.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, but I remember sitting there as a kid, and it's like you see the warm-ups, the foul balls coming your way. You're like, heads up, heads up, heads up. It's like, yeah, no. In fact, I remember hockey before they had the nets up, we had season tickets to Worcester for 10 years, right, out there. And we had seats behind the glass. Okay, so we were perfectly fine. But walking down to the glass, there was no nets. And just, the guys come over the blue line, they take the shot, and what's the defenseman do? Sticks his stick out and tries to angle that puck over the glass, right? That would happen more often than you think. And we were sitting there one night at this minor league hockey game behind the glass. We're perfectly safe. And we're sitting there, and there's this lady that's probably like 10 rows up, like ground zero for that puck just clearing the glass, going really fast and hitting you. And she's got holding a baby. And we're all like, are you sure you want to be sitting there? And the usher came down and said, ma'am, I can probably find you a better seat. You might not want to sit here with it. She's like, I'm okay. If the puck comes, I'll just knock it away. What do you think happened?
She take one?
Puck cleared the glass and hit her in the knee.
Oh, thank goodness it was a knee.
If it was the other knee, it might have been the baby's head. And so she couldn't walk. And so they come down, and I don't know if she was with somebody, but they carried the baby out, and they had to like carry her out. And the usher's sitting there while the medics took her out, right? And we all looked at the usher, and the usher just went, and the usher was a woman, and she's like, I asked her if she wanted to move. I told her she should move, and she insisted on sitting here. And we're all just like, boy, that baby came real close to taking a puck in the head. That was absolutely stupid.
That was a rubber too, yeah.
That was a few years before. That was probably 5 or 6 years before they put the nets up.
The netting up. Yeah. So Big Clue asks if you think that the regular season will be canceled.
I think it really depends on what happens. I mean, I think everybody's hoping that if, every day is like I said, every day it's like they keep squishing us into our house. Or at first it was events, and then it was, minor league events, and then it's all events, and now it's restaurants, and now it's schools. So to a point where there's going to be no need to go out because nothing's going to be open. I mean, seriously, you might run to the grocery store and come home. So they're trying to get everybody off the streets. They're trying to, for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, keep everybody indoors so this thing settles down. And then I think if they can look at the numbers and they see what's happening to see if this is working. So I'm not going to say that after 3 weeks that it's going to open the doors and open up everything all at once. But I think if they can get that to work, so we don't have a situation like Italy, they might start allowing a few things. So they might say, look, this is working. We're going to give it another couple of weeks. And then
we talked about this before. What do you think? May 1st? Or if we can get basketball and hockey up by May 1st, they'd finish the regular season?
Yeah, they're already talking about they don't want to cancel. They definitely want to award the Stanley Cup. That's what I heard from a lot of people. They want to award the Stanley Cup one way or another. Whether they finish the regular season or not, whether they have an abbreviated playoffs or not, they want to get the Stanley Cup in. And they're already talking to arenas about availability in July and maybe even August.
Yeah.
So that would push back next season, obviously. There's no way that they could award the cup in August and say, see you in 3 weeks for training camp. They need to give the guys a rest. But at the same time, if they've had 2 months off, it's not like they've played hockey for 10 months either. It's they've had this break. So they've all had a chance to heal up and rest up. So, I don't know what would happen in the fall, but I heard that they don't want to shut it down for the year. I know that the East Coast Hockey League did. That's the team that had the Worcester Railers that I used to go see. The East Coast is done.
Arena availability in the summertime. Those smaller arenas have got concerts and shows and all that. So,
right. XFL is done. So there's some leagues that are done. And I'm actually worried for some of those teams and leagues that ended up like this because they're going to have to refund some ticket money. They don't have a big profit margin. So this is going to hurt some of those smaller teams.
Consider the fate of the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm not trying to turn this into political at all. But if we're talking an NBA Finals in late July, early August, the Democratic Convention is supposed to be in Milwaukee this year.
Yeah, they're going to have to work around that. Yeah.
Where would the Bucks play? Because obviously you're not you're not moving the Democrats to Madison, so Milwaukee can play a playoff game, right?
You never know. Remember, was it back in 1980 that the Chicago Blackhawks were forced to play a home game in Long Island because Led Zeppelin was playing?
The Rangers for years have done. The New York Rangers for years don't have any home games in December because that's when the circus used to be at the Garden.
Right. Let's see. Michael in the chat room. Micromanage finances, order prescriptions. Yep, that's what we're all going to do is get our doctor stuff in. Put together his hospital bag just in case, plan his meals and the whole bit. Try to find places to take the kids outdoors. Yeah.
We have a nice yard. I mean, when the weather gets nice, we can at least sit outside and there's enough space there so you don't have to be you can be 6 feet away from a neighbor. I'm not worried about sitting next to my wife, but so we can at least we can do that once it gets nice. It's got to get nice first, but
yeah. So we're asking everybody, what things are you doing? We're also asking you, so how you all doing? I actually was walking I've been walking the dog twice a day. What else is there to do? I'm walking the dog twice a day, so I'm getting my exercise in because I'm not playing hockey. I thought about going to the gym, but then I was like, maybe it's better if I don't right now. And not that I want to buy into the panic of the hype, but trying to be smart.
That would be one of the worst places to go because
all
that
the sweat. They're
not doing those machines every time that someone gets off on.
Yeah, I usually just do the rowing machine, and no one's on them usually. So I clean those up before and after I get on there. So that's just kicking that around. But yeah, so I was walking the dog and I ran into the neighbors, and one neighbor says, "I'm out buying more wine." She's like, "I need to stock up." She's like, "The kids are actually starting to freak out over this." I said, "I'm starting to freak out over this too." I says, "I hope this passes quick, and it's one of these things that we never ever have to deal with again."
I hear you.
And let me see. Oh yeah, and you never made that Strat baseball video for me, did you?
No.
Maybe that's something we could do. Maybe you wouldn't have to make the video. Maybe you could just share the screen. Because I'm looking into the Strat baseball, but I only play basic. So I wonder if there's a way that I could put in the numbers from basic and play Strat baseball on the PC, or if that would just be a waste of time.
I think it would take you too long. I mean, the thing with basic is that it just flies.
Right.
And this would take a while for you to do. I don't see any real, unless you want to keep stats, and you're not really a full replay anyway.
Well, I thought I would do what I would do with the hockey. So I'm playing the PC hockey, and you don't have the choice of rolling dice in that, but you can play a few games, let the computer play a few games and do things like that. So I thought about maybe doing that with baseball, set up a playoff series where I could, maybe play one and sim one or the whole bit, but I would only play in the basic mode.
Yeah, it's not worth it for that. Kenny, because of your issues, how are you surviving all this? He says his gym is a ghost town. We've talked with Kenny, of course, about the blue pill diaries and some of the other things, but Kenny has some high risk issues too, and so
right.
How are you doing that? Gord says doing my DDP yoga and rolling dice. Now just waiting for the pub I work to be to close. Gord, where are you, buddy?
Yeah, they're starting to shut down bars for sure. Some restaurants I heard that might have some to go. We can do more of those EMR interview guest spots again. Yeah, everyone's home. I talked to Ray from Connecticut last night on here. We didn't broadcast, but I was just chatting with him. He was showing
Ray's a good guy. I'd love to have your brother-in-law or your stepbrother on again. He was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, Ray was showing me his train stuff and how he's got it going on. He was showing me his model trains, right?
Oh, and nice.
I don't know anything about model trains. I know as a kid I might have had one, or I knew somebody that had one. He's got it set up now where it's hooked up. I don't know if it's with a wire or if it's Bluetooth to the computer, and there's a little chip on the train. So if you pull the shell off the train, it's all electronics, right? And he said, this little thing here, I forget what he called it. It was a little circular thing. It looked like a watch battery or something like that.
It's exactly what it is. It's
Okay.
power, yeah.
But it's a diode or something like that.
Oh,
and he goes, it's some kind of a chip. And he goes, look, and he went on the computer and he's like, I can change the horn. I can change the engine. I can change the. So he was like, he was hitting buttons and the train was going, and then he hit another button. It's like, so
nice.
he can change the sound of it. It's all electronic now. Everything is electronic on these things. I was like, wow, that is pretty sweet that he's on there showing me how this train works. And it's all electronic. It's all attached to the computer now. So that's what he's been doing.
Gord is out of Ottawa.
Okay.
Kenny says he's working out in his basement. Have all I need there and planning to stay with no contact until early April. Once this breaks, Mr. Castro, you need to come up and we need to do some lunch.
Yeah, in fact, we've been talking about doing the Hockey Blast, sitting down and doing that because I want to break that out again and give Hockey Blast a try. I had a hard time with some of the things in that game. There was some really good things about it, and there was some things that the game just came to a screeching halt, and I was like, oh, forget it. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, I go to saying
what's in Chattanooga this week, near Chattanooga.
Gord was saying Strat Hockey tomorrow. Yes, I love Strat Hockey. I have it on the Cards and Dice. I have the utility. I have the PC game. I just can't get enough of Strat Hockey. I really do. And Fast Break Basketball. Not sure I've heard of Fast Break Basketball.
Heard of it, but I don't think I've played it.
Hopefully it plays fast. I like fast playing games. Let's see here. We talked about the EMRHL interview. Somebody here posted something here. Tribe Fan. Doing some recorded programming in Stratomatic. That's what he's going to be doing. Yep. I like the Stratomatic. I like when you guys do the Stratomatic online. I like watching that. Let me see. Yeah, Ken's like, am I hung up on the momentum? Yes, I am. The momentum in that game it's a big part of the game, and it's a confusing part of that game. Whereas if you're on the power play, you have momentum. But if you have a breakaway, you have momentum. And then if you win a fight, you have momentum. And then if something else happens, you have momentum. And it just ping pongs around to a point where who has the momentum? The team on the power play, the team on the breakaway, the team that's won the fight, the teams that won this. They need to have some kind of a list in order that says, here's who has momentum, and this is the priority. So if you get a breakaway, you have momentum, top priority, no matter what else happens. Okay, and then if there's no breakaway, then the team that won the fight will always have momentum. Even if you're on a power play. So that's what I don't get is the rule book is confusing. In fact, somebody posted that on Facebook and said, boy, I'm really confused with some of the rules in here. They contradict themselves. And I was like, that's why I stopped playing it, because I tried to play it the right way. And I ran into so many issues as far as what do I do now? Who's got the momentum? What do I look at? And I just was like, yeah, I don't like being confused like that. So maybe if we sat down, maybe we could go over it. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe, you know what I do sometimes wrong with some of these games? I read way too much into
it. You've overthought it. That's why it was nice though when we sat down and I did the little demo for Strat with you when you were up here. That was fun. That was fun.
Even that I overthought, because I was like, well, why would it be this and why would it be that? And it's like, don't overthink it. Just kind of go with it. And I didn't know what you meant till I come home and I played it a little bit more and then I got into a flow of it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, okay, I'm overthinking some of the rules in this game.
And Kenny has the list that you seek.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would like to have that list.
Stay away from his audition couch, okay? No casting couch for you, for Kenny. Make him a mod for a minute and we'll send. I think you can do that if you want. You're looking at chat on.
Just send it to my Facebook, Kenny.
Yeah.
If you want, just send it to my Facebook. And maybe Ron will send you some links to Facebook too.
He wants the weird stuff, man.
It's funny. Edie from the Game Hounds. We've been texting all week about stuff, and Edie says that she goes, now's the time if you want to take stock in Pornhub, now's the time to get it, right? And so I wrote back that says, well, I have 3 accounts with Pornhub. Does that count? She's like, that's not what I meant.
I'm not touching that
Oh
line
boy.
with a 50-foot pole.
Hey, talk for a second. I need to get a ginger ale. Talk for a second. I'm gonna put on my
All
socks
right.
too. So you talk for a second.
Okay, so hopefully, they're talking about the APA tournament. There I had an offer, and I haven't, and I don't do this because I don't do just enough pure card and dice to play. Yeah, you should be impressed. So am I. Where people are doing, the Strat face-to-face leagues, the card and dice face-to-face leagues, but Kenny, they're doing them over Skype. And so that's a good way to do it. You'd have the teams, and so you would just sit like we're doing here with the camera. You'd pull out your cards, I'd pull out my cards, and playing. And maybe that can pick up some ground and something that we can talk about maybe in this episode of Digital Dice coming up throughout this sequester or what. But yeah, don't think about that if you're doing that, or maybe for a tournament. Because if you bought a team for a tournament, there'd be no reason why you couldn't play remotely to get all the experience. I know it's there to chat with people, but why not chat with people? I did a family reunion once through Skype. My grandmother's 90th birthday party, and I couldn't get down there, but we hooked them up with Skype, confused the hell out of her, but I got to see her once. Dave's putting on his socks. So I wonder which Pornhub account that was, but he's got the headphones back on. So yeah, just something to think about, especially APA Chatter and Kurt Berglund and others who organize these things. There's no reason why you couldn't do that if you had the cards, especially if you're bringing the teams via Skype and get that experience. No, you're not going to sit in the bar after and have the beer, but at least you could play the games and get some of that social interaction. We're talking about Dave because of Kenny not being able to possibly make the annual APA convention. Oh, thanks. Thanks for that there, Chief.
They're clean. They're very clean.
I'm sure there are. And APA Chatter says there's one APA football league on Skype. But yeah, we're talking about the whole process of, instead of playing the computer game against each other online, just sitting there with Skype or Hangouts and playing with cards and dice just over video cameras. And so you'd get that face-to-face experience.
And you could even use StreamYard right here.
But you really can't get a full screen.
Oh, use Skype to do the screen thing?
You'd have it so you could see everything, so that you see the full picture of that. I mean, we do this, and kind of like when we do the Hangouts. I mean, because this is about a third of the screen. You'd want as much screen real estate as needed. Your orb is back, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's just dust floating around is what I think it is.
So yeah, so a hockey tournament on Skype or whatever. But that's something we can talk about is when we figure out what we're going to tape next for Digital Dice. How to do those sort of things and keep up that contact and see people face to face, but keep our proper social distance. And in Dave's case, 230 miles away.
Is that how far it is?
No, you're not that. Working number. I don't know how far you are from me. 150?
Oh no, I'm more than that. If I was 3 hours at 60 miles an hour at 180, 200 maybe, 220.
That's right. I forget.
Just with the
We're
traffic.
way up in the northwest corner of Vermont, so
it's not that far, depending on traffic. That's the thing. When you leave on a holiday weekend on a Friday at 2:00, right, then it's a 4.5 hour ride.
And then to have the gas mains down when you get here.
Yeah, that was messed up too.
Oh my God.
No gas.
Not that. So all right. So plenty of different things. And if there's something that you'd like us to talk about on Digital Dice, we're going to be trying to tape on Fridays. And now we don't really have much of an excuse. Be trying out a new setup for me so I can put the earplug in. Although you haven't said anything about an echo tonight.
No, I haven't heard an echo tonight.
Oh, I don't know what my volume is. You're loud enough so I'm comfortable in hearing you. So, that's pretty impressive. So what would you like us to talk about? We did Riding Out the Storm was the one that we did on Saturday for Saturday. Kenny's coming up in Burlington in September. Awesome. Are they going to reschedule the marathon? They're obviously, I can't imagine Kenny, have you heard anything about the marathon? I know you're coming up for the bike race.
They postponed that.
Oh, the Burlington Marathon.
Oh, the Burlington Marathon.
Boston obviously is September something, right?
Yeah.
Have they given a date for that, or are we just saying September?
I don't know if they've given a date or not. They pushed it to the fall, though.
About the Masters being Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, everything is being moved right now.
Fall marathon. Okay, I don't know if Kenny's talking about Boston or Burlington there, but I'd be surprised, especially if we get a run up here, that they'd be wanting people to run. September 14th is what Larry Harris says, and that's the date I think I remember too. So, how do you tell when someone has run a marathon? I don't know, Steve. How can you tell? You don't have. You did okay. Good job. You don't have to. They tell you. So, what would you like us to talk about in the upcoming weeks? I think that's some.
Yeah, or what would you like to see us stream? If some of you guys that watch us stream the stuff here, is there anything in particular you'd like to see us do as far as stream? Because I'm gonna be sitting home all week. You know, I could definitely jump on and stream something or other if there's something you're interested in seeing. You know, I always just do the stuff that I'm interested in, but I mean, I could always do something if someone said, "Hey, kind of cool to see this." So I mean, I want to start I'm looking over here to my left. That's my folders. I want to start my hockey project, the 4 different games, with 4 different games. So I was thinking about doing that, starting that up tomorrow.
Well,
I don't know if I'd stream that though. I would probably show the results. I would probably do like a post game wrap up or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, Al was fun to have on. Hearing about projects. We talk a lot about projects. We've done one about the Dream Ones, and I know that people have suggested playing as the enemy. And what was the other one? That there was a couple evergreen ones that, you know, every time that we go, what do we want to talk about this week? I forget. And then, you know, over the course of the week, every time we get together, we both come up with 10 topics. And then, so what do we want to do? Dave, is there any product that has an all-time great sets for hockey? That would be fun to watch. I know that Action PC has an all-time greats set for franchise sets. I don't know if Strat has one or not. Do you know?
I tell you, I'm not sure.
A lot more streamable than Strat, as far as I'm concerned. Baseball Demos is working from home the next 2 weeks. A Tabletop Earl or Tenacious Earl, that would always be good as an interview. Kenny says most game engines have that for hockey. I bet Hockey Blast has a franchise great set too, don't they?
My thing though, yes. I don't like to play the greats. I like to play the not so greats. As you know, I love streaming the SEALs, Scouts. I like playing the bad teams, the 76 Buccaneers. I don't know why, because it seems like everybody focuses on the great teams and they play like the Gretzky's or the whatever, the Terry Bradshaws, and I'm like, I want to play the yucky teams. I want to play the yucky teams because they don't get any love.
Cleveland Barons, which there is a Dave Gardner on.
There is. In fact, I've shown my that card on my Facebook page once in a while.
And so, just a reminder that
he played with Montreal, though, right? He played with the Canadians.
Well, I knew that somebody had class around here.
And Andy played with the Seals. That's how I met Reggie Leach. Is he played with the Seals? Bill's asked, "Can I remote stream maybe from China Jade?" Well, possibly you could remote from China Jade, but the problem is they're not going to be open. They're not going to be open anymore, for at least for a while. So.
Had they sold or weren't they in the process of being sold?
I heard they've already sold, and I think the new owners are running it right now, and it's some new people there. But who knows? Maybe it's better. Maybe the other people.
Now's
not the time for that. Right. Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget, starting tomorrow at noon every day, we'll be doing 1978 Live Baseball at noon. Dave Gardner is so excited about that.
I like a little bit of baseball, but not a lot of baseball.
There's going to be a lot of baseball. And we're going to do a game every day in real time, not real time, but instead of doing the 2 or 3 games a week, we will just pick it up on whatever day that was and just go daily. We have enough to get through. Well, we've only done about a quarter of the season. So Kenny Castro said he chatted with Brian Leach last Sunday at a youth hockey game. That's cool.
That's neat. You know, when I was writing for the hockey magazines, Ken, we've talked about the writing before. I was up in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I press pass, so I got to walk into the press box. Not very big, but I got to walk in there, and they got snacks and drinks or whatever it was. And I open the door, and I walk in the press room, and who do I literally smack ran into was Pat Burns.
Really?
And I was like, "Hey, coach." He's like, "Hi." I shook his hand, and it's like, "Oh my God." And I sat next to a guy that was scouting for the Islanders that was on the Olympic team, defenseman.
Kenny Morrow was on that Olympic team.
Yeah, I think it was Kenny Morrow. Yep. So when I sat down to write my story about the team and the game, I sat down and it was Kenny Morrow sitting there writing down all the stats. Yep.
By the way, I saw tonight that they're now targeting a release soon of the next Sportsman magazine. They finished the wrestling game that they were working on, or he was working on, and now that is out the door, and they can work on getting out another copy of the magazine. Kenny says he sat with John Tortorella once in the.
That's one guy I can't stand. I can't stand him.
This is what Kenny says, and
no, I do not like Tortorella, not at all. Let's see. Bill says I'm not. At least I'm not a Yankees fan. Yeah, no, I'm not a Yankees fan. No, I'm really not. I'm an Original Six hockey fan, so I do like the Original Six hockey teams. Like I said, I like the Rangers. I don't know why. I just always. You know what it was growing up as a kid, listening on the radio. If the Bruins weren't playing, sometimes you could pick up the Rangers games, you know, or on the game of the week on TV, it was either Bruins or Rangers or Blackhawks. So I got used to all those teams, and so I still follow them. I still like the Rangers jerseys. That red, white, and blue, I really like.
They are nice. So, Gord, I love you, man. I love you.
Oh, can someone who's a moderator please have Gord leave the chat room? We don't want any Habs fans in the chat room.
Odd. So what was the food in the Manchester press box? Ken said that the Manchester had great food for the press back in the day. Dave is trying to ban Gord.
No, I'm not. I'm only kidding.
70s were a good time to be a Habs fan. 80s were fun too. 93 was great.
Yep, I still have a lot of those Montreal championships on reel-to-reel and VHS. So if you want to watch them sometime, I could bring some tapes over.
I have a pronoun and a noun for you, my friend. Or better yet, aloha.
Aloha. Hey, Big Clue asked me, so I ought to play the Stratomatic 1899 MLB season as the Cleveland Spiders. You know something? You know, I wouldn't play the whole season, but you know, if they had an 1899 season and I found it fairly cheap enough, I would get it. I don't know anybody. I'd play a game or two.
That team lost 130 games or something like that.
Oh, I would so play the Spiders. I'm a Spiders fan. As of right now, I am a Spiders fan.
Twitch demos at noon. 20 and 134.
I have to get that now. I got to see if they have that team. If they have that season.
So that full service chow, pasta, shrimp. Ooh.
How many teams did they have in 1899?
I don't know off the top of my head. Can you imagine going to work and knowing that you're going to suck 134 times? Yeah, 62 baseballs out and you can play with the 62 mitts.
No, I want to do something crazy like the Spiders. I never heard of the Spiders.
Oh my God.
I know that San Francisco Spiders were an international hockey league team at one point.
12 team league, he says.
NL only? Oh, that's probably not too expensive. Does Strat have that? For sale?
Sure, the computer season's there, but they dropped the 4 weakest teams before the 1900 season, which is why the American League jumped into the fray. And you could play Boris the Spider before each game.
I could.
Spider.
Did the Spiders back then, did they have a web page?
You know, you're doing that. You know, Demos is here, and you're dropping them, and he doesn't even have to help.
I know, dropping the puns already. We're just trying to have fun here tonight. If you're joining us, thanks for tuning in tonight. We're just kind of trying to lighten the mood tonight amidst of what's going on and all the closings. And, really looks like we're going to be stuck in our house for a couple of weeks. So we just want to see, how are you all doing? What are you guys doing to deal with this here? We're just giving you guys an outlet to come on and chat. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube right now. And we're reading some of the comments and some are pretty good ideas of some of the things to do, and some people just venting, and that's fine. That's what we're here for. It's just therapy as much as it is for you. It is for us right now. Just taking our minds off a thing and stop turning off the news for a minute and stop getting all the bad news. So it's
only. But I bet you have it in OOTP. They have seasons, so you'd have it in OOTP.
Oh, I could play OOTP then. Oh, that would be even funner because I'd have the visuals on there.
Yes, you would. You'd probably enjoy it more.
Oh, maybe I'll fire up OTP, see if they have it then. $17 for PC only. Boy, that's a lot just for a couple of fun games there. I would maybe I'll do it with the OTP. I'll see if they have that season there. I wonder what stadium they would have. What would they have for a stadium back in 1899?
Something that burnt down.
Yeah, it's all made out of wood, right?
An Action PC.
Okay.
I'm looking. It's a nice thing about doing this in the computer. It's all right there.
I would fire up the OTP, but it takes a half hour to load. So
this week, $7.03.
Action PC baseball?
The season, the 1899 season is $7.03.
Really? That's tempting.
God, scare me.
That's tempting. But if I'd rather do it on the OOTP because the visuals are so much better.
The visuals are a lot better.
And I wanted to talk to Al. I was kind of hoping Al would jump in tonight. So he had some tough pronunciations for some of the Flyers last night, and I was trying to type it into the chat to help him out, but I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, okay, here's how you say this guy's name. Here's how you say this guy's name. So I figured if I just said it, if he was in the chat room here, I could just say it. He wasn't
bad enough to say Bernie Parent, was he?
No, but he had trouble with Don Saleski.
Okay.
He was like Saleski. He was having trouble, so I was like Sa-les-ki. I spelled it out for him and whatever. So I was like Sa-les-ki, and he got it once, and then he went back to Saleski.
I think it might be League Park for Cleveland in 1899. And don't forget that there was no new Texas Stadium in 1981 baseball demos. Yep, Kenny Castro says League Park 1. Wow, I got that right.
Oh, nice job.
Kurt Berglund, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, Kurt's in here. Good to see him as we're just kind of chatting away tonight for a few minutes.
Yeah, so I think from 1876 forward is available in OOTP, so you don't have to buy it. You just have it.
Oh, good. If I get it, maybe that's one of the ones I'll stream tomorrow. Then or this week, Cleveland Spiders game from 1899. See what kind of ballpark they have. Do you think it's in there? Do you think they have? Because I have the ballpark pack. I wonder what.
I have to look.
I'll have to go check later on tonight to see in OOTP because I have the old ballpark pack all loaded up. So I get the old Fenway and Cincinnati, and they look great. Whoever did that did a great job with those baseball parks. They really did.
Kurt, when do you want to finish your 60s tournament? Not like we have anything much to do right now.
Now, who was that? What tournament was that?
We did the first game of the Pirates and 60 Pirates and 69 Orioles. And now we got to go through and do, which I forgot who won. But we have to do one game at Forbes Field. And then if there's a third game, it would be back in Baltimore to finish up that. And John Murray, I need to hear from John for the next next set for the Washington. That has been fun. I know you're not a huge baseball fan. The two games between the 94 Expos and the 2019 Nationals, those teams were fun. And both of those games have been good. The team ERA for the Spiders, it's kind of like your goalie, 6.37.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's bad.
Oh, that's for the team?
That's the team ERA, 6.5.
So 6.5 runs a game. Well,
all right, we'll figure it out. Wednesday or Thursday, fine. So 637. Holy bazinga.
Yeah. Oh, and just in case. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Al's here.
yeah.
Al. I hear the pronunciations last night. I was trying to help you with, and I didn't want to keep typing them in. I didn't want to get you mad or anything, but for the Philadelphia Flyers, it was Don Selesky. Don Selesky was one of the guys you were having a hard time with, and the other guy was Orest Kindrachuk. And a couple times you got it. When I typed it in, a couple times you got Kindrachuk, and then you went back to Kindrachuk or something. But it was Don Selesky and Orest Kindrachuk were the Flyers guys. And there was another guy there. Who are the brothers on the team?
Oh,
there was a Dave. There were two brothers, and he asked if they were brothers, and they were brothers on the team.
I'm drawing a blank, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, there were two brothers on the 74, 75 Flyers.
6 there are, yeah.
It's not Maloney. It wasn't Maloney. Who were the brothers on the Flyers? It was. It'll come to me in a minute. But yeah,
Shells.
yeah. But he was just like, I wonder if these guys are brothers, and I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. No, that was an awesome game. Was it like 6-5 or 8-5 or something like that, or 8-6? That was a lot of goals scored. I stayed up for all that. I started watching here on the computer, then I went to bed and I finished watching on my phone. It was really good. Excuse me. I think it was Dave and Don.
No, that's the Maloney's. That's the Maloney's.
Yeah, but yeah, Don Selesky and Orest Kindrachuk, if you ever do that. Watson, yeah, Joey and Jim Watson.
Jimmy Watson and Joe Watson. And they were 9 years apart.
Oh, were they 9 years apart?
Yeah, just look, Joe is 32. And
Where's the camera? Joe was 32 and Jimmy was 23.
Wow, that's a lot of years between them. I didn't think they were that far apart. But that was a great game last night. How the Flyers just beat up. And he ended up taking up, who was it? Chico Resch was in net for a while, and he got lit up, and he took him out and put in Billy Smith, and then he didn't do much better. But that was a fun game.
Playoff game. That was Billy Smith's bread and butter.
And that was Wayne Stevenson was in net, not Perrant, by the way. It was Wayne Stevenson. He was in net. Bobby Clark scored on a breakaway. I booed. I don't like Bobby Clark. Sorry. I just don't like Bobby Clark.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
But that was such
on something in hockey. Oh my God.
That was a fun. I mean, he had 3 goals in less than 2 minutes. It was just like somebody scored, dropped the puck, couple of plays, somebody scored, dropped the puck, couple of passes, and it was like bing, bing, bing. It was, you couldn't walk away from the game because there was just so many goals. And I think he ended up 8-6. I think the final score.
Wow.
And so that was what 75 Flyers versus, I forget what year the Islanders were. I don't know if was it 79, 80 Islanders. I think it was 81 Islanders. I don't know. It was one of the better. It had Bossy on it and Trottier and all those guys. But that was a fun game. I usually play teams in the same season, but I can see how fun it would be to play teams in other seasons. So that's a great hockey game. The Action PC. Oh my gosh, it's because I like to broadcast the game. So Action PC hockey to broadcast is so much fun.
Yeah,
it's difficult because the chalkboard doesn't always flow. So you're watching the chalkboard, but you're reading the text, and you just kind of combine it all. And a couple times it doesn't match up. There was a couple times that it said this guy takes the shot, and it was somebody else on the chalkboard scoring the goal. So you're like, oh boy, what can you do?
78, 79. So
that's what I thought it was. 78, 79.
that was not a cup winning team.
That was not a cup winning team. Yeah,
like Toronto, I think, in the first round.
Yeah, that was the team that was on the way up for the Islanders.
Right. Yeah, the chalkboard doesn't always match. I thought today in that Bear 49er game, I had a safety.
Really?
The guy got a 3-yard dive, but he got a handoff, and all of a sudden you're seeing players congregate in the end zone, and I'm starting to call for did not run a pitch to the left, by the way. It was like a draw or a fullback dive, just in case you have any ideas there, Gardner, about my play calling ability. And I thought it was going to be a safety. Nope. So I'm looking at the chalkboard and going, okay, it's 2 points for Chicago. I'm like, nope, got it out. 3-yard gain, spot it at the 4. Okay.
One of my games I was playing in Action PC hockey, guy took a shot and the goalie disappeared. He wasn't even on the ice. He appeared when they dropped the puck for the face-off, but it was like, whoa, what's going on here? Where is the goalie?
The Spiders would be harder to win with. You had, when I was watching your game last night, boxes appearing behind the goalies.
I don't know if that was supposed to be the team logo or not. I think I checked the box that said don't put a picture on there or something. So,
Okay.
there was something, there's some image that's supposed to be there behind the net. And I don't know what that, but I think I checked the box that said don't show something. So that's why.
Because I've never seen that before.
There's something, I don't know if it's the team logo or a jersey or a generic thing that goes behind the net. So I think that's what that box was a placeholder. Okay. So, but yeah, Al might know. Al, OOTP, baseball. Do they have the 1899 season? Because
76 and up.
Can I just ask the chat room, please, without you stumbling in and wrecking the show?
Oh, wrecking the show.
So Al,
show.
Yeah, because it was a Big Clue that was asking me to play the 1899 Cleveland Spiders.
Wrecking the show.
Just trying to get people involved,
Wrecking the show.
I'm gonna have another ginger ale.
I hope the dog pisses on your socks.
Don't be Sunday Ron. Is it Sunday? It is Sunday. It is Sunday. It's a Sunday Ron on a Sunday. It took you all day, but you're Sunday Ron. So I was just hoping Al would confirm that there was 1899. I could play the Cleveland Spiders. That's all. But no, feel free. Feel free.
No, I'll be quiet.
Okay. Don't be that Sunday Ron.
I'm okay.
A bug flew in my mouth. Are you happy now?
Oh, that's about a way you got to buzz somehow, huh?
Oh man, it's one of those bats from China I just ate. I don't know.
He didn't even give you a direct answer.
Al, I gave you the layup. Ron swatted away like LeBron, but you could have come in and got the rebound.
Wreck the stream.
I said wreck the show, not the stream. I should have said wreck the chat room. I'm trying to get people involved. I'm trying to give some love out there. Just just because you didn't get pineapple pizza today, you're all upset. So,
no, I'm very happy I didn't get pineapple pizza today. So have you looked up your Scorpion Bowl recipe? So when you go to your uncle's, you know what to ask for.
I do have one. He gave me a bowl one year, many years ago. He gave me the actual bowl. He bought a bowl that they serve you in the restaurants, and he gave me all the ingredients, and he gave me the sheet on how to make it one year. And I still have that sheet. I think it's hanging on my fridge over there. Excuse me, so I can
like a fake coconut shell or something like that.
The problem is that it is all depending where you go. It tastes different everywhere you go.
I'm sure it's a lot like a Long Island. It's whatever they have left over.
Yeah, because we got there's three. If I were to drive down this road about 1.5 miles, there's 3 Chinese places you can go to, and they all have Scorpion Bowls, and they're all different. They're all one. China Jade's got his way to make it. The other Mikado's makes it a certain way. China Garden, we just went up there last week. They make it a certain way. If you go to Kowloon, which is the big one up here, over by Hockey Town on Route 1, Kowloon makes it a certain way. If we go uptown here, there's a couple small Chinese places. They make it a certain way. So everybody makes it very different. So the way I make it, who knows if it's right or not? But I mean, it's like 3 or 4 or 5 different liquors. Just then you put in some juice, pineapple juice and orange juice, and stir it up, and there's your drink. It's very fruity, very sweet, is what it is.
Is it now?
It is. It is very sweet. Very sure. Actually, the place we went to last weekend, that's probably going to be closed now, so I can't get a Scorpion Bowl for 3 weeks now, which is going to suck unless I make it. But they theirs was not as sweet. It's like, boy, I kind of like this. It's not as sweet. It's a little stronger too, whereas the other ones are sweeter. Sometimes the sweeter ones are like too sweet, So that's
we don't worry about you being too sweet.
Yeah, I'm a sweet guy. It's just, but as long as you let the chat room answer some of the questions, I'm a sweet guy.
Ruined his channel. I don't get it.
I don't know if my subs are going up or down right now.
I'm sure you'll unsub and sub back to me 4 or 5 times.
I do. I was like your 500 sub because I unsubbed right before the other guy subbed, and then I subbed back in. So I technically won the prize. So, but
you got to brush the lice out of a cat then, right?
that's right. So so this week's Digital to Dice, yeah, we had a nice little conversation just talking about how we're getting through things.
Right.
This is kind of a video version of that. We're just kind of chatting here. We're opening up things to, to people on Facebook, people on YouTube, just to come and say hi and hang out. We'll probably be signing off in a few minutes. So hopefully some of you guys will do some streaming tonight so we can catch some games. So I can kick back and enjoy that tonight. I like to put stuff on, do my puzzles here while people play their games.
Have you gone through your entire download package yet?
No, I've only done 2. I did the baseball one and I did the truck one. But I still got 6 or 7 to go, so I'm pretty excited about that. And, I mean, I might go back at some point and start replaying some of the ones I did. I guess there's no harm in doing that. I just felt like I don't want to do them again.
Bad that they just can't break them up into different pieces.
Yeah, it'd be great if they had one puzzle and just said, hey, oh, you put it in your own picture and it busted it up for you.
Right. Or, okay, you can do this. All right, Al, you too. Whether you could, like, one time it's a 300-piece puzzle, another one might be a 95-piece puzzle, something like that too.
Yeah. Well, they have different ones. Like that baseball one was X amount of pieces, and the truck one was X amount of pieces, but you couldn't change it. So in other words, you can't say, "Oh, I want the truck one to be."
Right.
Yeah. So they it's done. It's like here are the 10 puzzles or 8 puzzles you get. Here's what size they all are, and that's it. You're done. So. And should I be drinking with my impending doctor visit? Well, I'm not on any of that medication yet, so I figured I got to get all my drinking in now if I want to do any, And then
there you go. That's always encouraging. Yeah, I'm drinking now, or I won't be able to.
Yeah, because once I get on some of the medicine, there, I was told not to drink at all. So okay, well, it's not a big deal.
I can't drink really with the meds I'm on, so
it's not that big of a deal. I mean, sometimes it's like you just have enough of like, okay, let's go out get some drinks and then I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm home at 7:00, but those days are they're winding down.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, but who knows with this lockdown here, then it might be time to start stocking up again. Who knows? Get more. See those little things flying around? It's all dust. Like
the 5th or 6th time I've seen that.
It's just dust, little dust. I don't even know where they are.
Like that,
the light hits it just right and the camera picks it up and it's
it really is, especially because you were telling that story. Is your grandfather's or her grandfather's house?
Her grandfather's house.
Okay, and so tell that story again real quick because not everyone might have heard that.
Yeah, so I was chatting like this. We weren't broadcasting, but I was chatting with my wife's cousin up in Maine. And it's my wife's grandfather's house, but it's also her grandparents' house that we bought. That's what I'm in. And she kiddingly said, "Have my grandparents visited you yet?" And I said, "No." And right when she said that, right behind me over here, that little orb started flying around. Right when she said it, and she goes, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." and we've seen that ever since. But it is little dust particles. But it was just real creepy at the time.
Yeah, that's creepy.
It did. It freaked me out for a minute there. She's like, "Oh, they're nice. They're nice. They like you." I was like, "Okay. So, all right, let's wrap things up here. We've been on for a while. We just wanted to chat a little bit on a Saturday night. Thanks for everybody that joined us. Sunday. Yeah, it is. I'm getting all the days mixed up because I have time off now. I'm all mixed up.
But I'm ruining your, scorpion bowls and all that.
I'm not working now, so it's really kind of messed up. Could be paranormal with dust bunnies. Yes, it could happen, Chatter. But thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight. I'd list some of the people. There's so many people in the chat room. I can't list them all. Sorry about that, but we try to include everybody in the chat tonight. Thanks for joining us. If you join us on YouTube or on Facebook, we're going to do more of these this week. Be looking for more streaming of some kind of games. Just come in and say hi in the chat room because we're all going to be locked up in our house for a couple weeks, it sounds, if not 3 weeks. So thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight. Ron, thanks for joining me tonight.
Oh, as always, yeah.
And you got some baseball coming up all week.
Anything to start the week, and I don't know what we're doing after that because I hadn't planned on doing 7 days a week for a while. But, yep, and then we'll figure out something to do tomorrow night at 7.
Okay, so you'll have some other things going on
doing
the channel as well.
Streams a day on Twitch, and I'm sure stuff's coming up on other channels. I'm going to go listen to some music and fall asleep.
Okay, cool. All right, you go do that, and I'm gonna probably sit here on YouTube and look around see if anybody's gonna be streaming any games tonight. I'm gonna try to play some puzzles while I chill out here and finish my ginger ale. And thanks to everybody for coming in tonight, and hope everybody stays safe. Let's all weather this storm together. And you know, I imagine that once they open up the sports stadiums again, that the crowds are going to be going nuts. You know, to have their games back. I think we all are. So,
Absolutely.
looking forward to that day, whether it's going to be, you know, in a few weeks or hopefully no more than a couple of months, that we get back to some sense of normalcy in our life. So once again, I'm Dave. This is Ron from the Digital to Dice podcast. Thanks to everybody tuning in tonight, and we hope to catch you again. And we'll probably do more of these this week, I imagine.
There's quite a bit, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.